Hi friends, hi! You're not gonna believe this, but this is the second time I am making this video. I made the whole video and I forgot to hit upload at the end, and then I went to a meeting and I came back and my video is gone. So later, when we talk about feelings, we'll talk about my frustration level right now. Maybe we should talk about that first. Let's do that. So right now, I want you to be thinking about some of the feelings that you are going through. I think especially right now with all of this stuff going on and having to close school and not being able to play maybe your sports that you're used to being able to play this time of the year, not being able to go over to your friend's house. Some of you may not even be able to go over to family members' houses, like maybe grandma and grandpa's or those kind of things. And I think that dredges up a lot of feelings. We're stuck inside our house with our whole family, little brothers and sisters, older brothers and sisters. And sometimes that brings up a lot of feelings. And we have tons of feelings. So we're going to talk first about something called zones of regulation and how those zones can help us understand our feelings and understand how we can move back to that calm, happy state, okay? Because we can do that. And then I'm also going to do a little demonstration for you called Fireworks in a Jar. And it's super cute. Like I said, I've already done it once, so it definitely works. So we're gonna do it again. So we're gonna start with first the zones of regulation. So in class we have done some work with second step, and you will continue to do that. Sorry, I have an itch in my eye. You will continue to do that all the way through your elementary, and then even when you get to middle school and high school, you have other things that you'll be doing that are similar to what we do in second step. So when we started out the school year, we talked a lot about respectful behavior, paying attention, staying focused, all that kind of good stuff. And then we were moving into compassion and empathy, and we've talked about that. And then what we were about to move into is, and you may remember from first grade or even kindergarten, those ways to help ourselves calm down, ways to help our own selves solve our own problems so that every little thing that comes up is not something we have to run to a teacher for or run to an adult for, that there are some things that we can handle on our own. And there are other things that we should absolutely get help with. So what this zones of regulation is all about is understanding our feelings and understanding how we can use that understanding. So how we can use our knowledge of our own feelings to help us what's called regulate, which means to help us take care of how our emotions and not letting our emotions control us, how we can control our emotions. So you will see this little thing, and I actually had printed it off because we were going to start talking about this when you came back from spring break. Nope. So there's like a little one I was going to give you. But it's really, really interesting because here's the first thing I want you to know. Are all feelings okay? Absolutely. We are, like right now, I was frustrated. I was annoyed, and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. The district has asked me to continue to do these videos for you for another week, and I've got a little bit of anxiety about that. Not because I don't love doing them, because I love doing them, but I've got a lot of other things that I need to do to wrap up the school year, and so it's a little overwhelming. So are all of these feelings that it's okay for me to have? Yes. Is it okay for me to let those feelings overcome me to the point where I cannot be in control of my own self? That's what we need to work on. So let's talk first. I want to go through these real quick, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on them because I want to get to our cool science experiment. But here's the green. And of course, you know, universally we know green means go, green means good. Green is kind of where we want to be. It's my green button here. I'm happy, I'm calm, I'm content, I'm relaxed, I'm focused and ready to learn. So when we're in school, this is the state I want to be in, right? And maybe I love this, man, I'm proud. Maybe you've just accomplished something and you are feeling really good about yourself. Okay, this is where I would love to be. The kind of things I would be saying to myself or things that I would be thinking about are, way to go, you're calm and focused, go me. You are listening and working and following directions. Keep up the good work, right? That's what this is our goal, right? Are we going to be there 100% of the time, all the time? Oh no. Sometimes we're a little down on this one, and I love that it is below here because that's literally how you're feeling when you're down in here. You're feeling a little down. You're bored. You're tired. Maybe you did something and you're just tired. You're feeling shy. Okay, does that, sometimes when you're shy, you are not feeling content and happy. You're feeling a little blue. You're hurt. You know, something happened. You fell and you skinned your knee. This is where your feeling is right now. You're sad. You're depressed. Maybe you're just sick. Like, I just don't feel good, right? So when I'm in this zone, sometimes if I'm just bored or tired or sad, sometimes it helps to go for a walk and just kind of get my body up and moving around. I notice that sometimes when I am sitting on my couch, even when I'm playing Legos, which I love to play my Lego Xbox or my Lego PlayStation, but you know that if you've been sitting there for too long, then my body starts, and I start to get kind of grumpier and grumpier and grumpier and tired. And that's because my body may just need to get up, move around. Sometimes I need to just get a good drink of water. I know I do that a lot when you're in the classroom and you're like, well, I don't, I'll be like, why don't you go ahead and go get a drink? Kind of get that little walk in, get moving around a little bit, come back in, be ready to focus. Talking to an adult helps. Someone who just is like, oh, I totally understand. Don't worry, it'll get better. Right? And then the thing to remember right here is I won't feel this way for long, right? If you're hurt, you will get better. If you're sick, you will get better. If you're bored, you will be unbored. If you're sad, things will get better, right? And we can move ourselves up into this green. The yellow right here, I want you to kind of look at those pictures. You can see we've got that gentleman kind of making that kind of grimace face. We've got the girl kind of putting herself in a little ball. And then we've got this girl right here who's got these question marks like, what? I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. And then we also have these friends here who look like they're kind of excited. So the first part of these words are kind of what I would consider kind of negative feelings. So I'm uncomfortable. Like maybe you're in a situation where you're just like, ooh, it can go on. Maybe you're a brand new person in the school building, right? And they're doing something that everybody knows how to do except you. And that makes you kind of uncomfortable, right? You're frustrated. Like this is where I was just a few minutes ago. And luckily talking to you guys, even through this camera, has helped kind of calm me down a little bit. You know what? I just gotta buckle up and do it again. What can you do, right? You're annoyed. Maybe your brother and sister are just driving you bazonkers, right? You're worried. I think we're all going through this yellow zone here right now with all of these things going on. We're worried about our friends. We're worried about our family members. We're worried about the community, our mom, our dad. You're feeling overwhelmed. There's a lot going on, or confused. But also, this other picture shows these other two feelings. Maybe you are excited or amped up. Like maybe it's going to be your party. If there's a party or you're finally going to get to go somewhere and go to the movies. I can't wait to get to go to the movies. Like I'm going to be really excited. I'm not out of control. I'm not crazy, but I'm definitely not calm. I'm a little ramped up. I'm a little pumped up. So I'm sitting here. So sometimes those can be maybe not great, but they also can be more positive feelings as well. So maybe during this time, in order for me to kind of chillax and relax, maybe I just say that to myself. Chill, right? Relax. Take some belly breaths. I love me a belly breath, friends. In through the nose. Hold it for a second. Out through the mouth. Yes. I love belly breaths. Counting to 10. Counting always helps me just kind of, okay, relax, chill out. And then if you really need a break, you know, your little brother or sister are just driving you bazonkers, you know, where do you have a place in your house you can go where you can just chillax for a second, where you can just take a moment, 5 minutes to kind of refocus yourself, right? Then get back in that happy, calm state. We can fairly easy go from here to here, okay? What happens is sometimes if we don't get this under control or something else happens before we can get this under control, then we move up into this red. And that is the place we really don't want to be, because here's the big words right here: out of control. And we want to be in control. This is where you are truly mad. This word right here, aggressive, mean, infuriated. Like you are past just being frustrated. You're ticked off, right? But also here's this word elated. So that's kind of the positive one. You're past being just excited about something and now you're kind of bouncing off the walls about it. So that can sometimes be a little out of control feeling as well. So anyway, we want to stop. Notice there's a big stop sign right here, because once we get to this point, and has everybody been at this point at some point in your life? Almost 99.9% of us. We've been here. We've let ourselves get out of control. And now we got to stop. We got to talk to ourselves, or somebody else has to talk to us and say, whoa, hold the phone, chill out, wait. You're out of control. Take a break. If you're in your house and there's nowhere for you to go, then you just look at the people around you and say, I need you guys. I need to stop. I need you to give me a break. That's hard to do, but hopefully that everybody has at least one spot around them where they feel like they can kind of step back and everybody knows you need a break. Instead of taking 3 belly breaths, take 10. You need to pull it back together. And sometimes those breaths just help kind of center myself, calm my heart rate down. Because when I get really mad, my heart rate starts going really fast. I can feel, I don't know about you, but I can feel my face getting hot, right? Because my heart rate is going fast and I'm starting to feel these feelings. The things that I love about this, I can calm down. You can do it on your own. No one has to calm you down. But can you ask somebody for help? Absolutely. You will get better. You will feel better. It feels like your whole world is consumed by this. But if you can just do some of these things and get yourself to here, then we just do a few more things and we can get ourselves back to this green. So this is a really cool thing. It's called this feelings thermometer. And you're going to see this at Bergman. And I know some schools in the district, if you're not necessarily staying at Bergman, which I know some of you are going to other places or doing other things, you will see this around or something similar to it, right? And that is that whole idea of how can we calm ourselves down? Is it okay to have every single feeling that's on here? Yes. And sometime, even all in one day, you may feel every single one of these. I know when I'm sick, I can feel definitely all of this, right? Sometimes I'm feeling blah, sometimes I'm feeling irritated and grumpy, sometimes I'm feeling like, oh, I'm starting to feel a little better, right? Hopefully, you don't feel this very often. And that, of course, is the goal. It's very weird to be angry and mad. And I hope that you can recognize when you're here and use some of these strategies, your belly breaths, your taking a break, I will sometimes be like, you know what? I need a time out. And I will put myself in my room and shut my door because I'm like, I need nobody to talk to me. I need nobody to breathe on me funny, right? Right? So all of those feelings are okay. And hopefully as the world kind of opens up a little bit at a time, hopefully things will go well and we can start to have a little bit of breathing room. But I want you to talk to your mom and dad, talk to your grandma or grandpa and say, what are some things that you do to help yourself calm down? If you get really worried about something or you get really angry about something, what do you do? And then talk about some things. Is there a place in your home that you can go and really have a break? Not to hide out in, right? Not to escape from the world, but just so you can have a minute to calm that heart rate and to relax a little bit so that you can be back in that green, calm state. If you don't have a place, I would challenge you to see with your family if you can come up with a place that would be just a little spot for you. Okay, so think about how you're feeling. Think about where you are on that thermometer and how can you get yourself back to that green, calm, happy state. Okay, now it is time to do the fireworks in a jar. So I'm going to move my camera so that it's angled down a little bit. So you're not going to see my face, but you'll definitely still hear my voice. So here is the things that you need for this demonstration. Is you need some kind of cup. It does not have to be see-through, but I made my see-through so that you could see what was going on inside, but it doesn't necessarily have to be see-through. And then now this jar is kind of big because I wanted to really be able to see what's going to happen in here. So you need a jar that's about 3/4. So if I were to split this up into fours, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's about 3 of those quarters full. Okay? Little fractions there. You are also going to need some water-based food coloring. So you don't want to use the gel-based, you want to use the water-based. And then, which is like the cheapy stuff, which is good. And you need some oil, okay? And a measuring spoon. So my measuring spoon, what I need 4 tablespoons of oil in here. And I don't have a tablespoon because I forgot mine at home, and so I had to borrow one in the school. And the only one that they had was a 1/2 of a tablespoon. So you can see, even though this line is slanted, and when I showed it to you, that line was straight across, this is 1/2 of a tablespoon. So if I want 1 whole tablespoon, I need 1/2 plus another 1/2, and that would give me 2 halves, and that would be 1 tablespoon. So I need 4 tablespoons. So 2 of these is equal to 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to have to do, let me open my jar. Okay. How many tablespoons do I need? 4. So 2 of these is equal to 1. So there's 1, 2. So that's 1 tablespoon. 1, 2. That's 2 tablespoons. 1, 2. That's 3 tablespoons. 1. Ooh, that was a lot. 2. That's 4. Was that 4? I think it was 4. I hope it was 4. Okay. So there's my oil. I've got 4 tablespoons of oil. And then I'm going to take my food coloring here. So I'm going to start with blue. It doesn't really matter what color, but we're going to put about 5 drops or so into our oil, and we're going to see what happens. So watch as I put this food coloring into my oil. Watch what happens to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you see that? What's happening with that food coloring? You see it? See how it's still in a ball, right? It's not mixing with the oil or turning the oil any kind of color. It is staying in a little ball. Let's see what happens when I put some yellow in. So I'm going to put all of these in here, about 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at it go. It's just hanging out. The reason why it does this is because this is a water-based food coloring, and water and oil do not mix. And the reason they don't mix is because they have a different viscosity, which basically means they have a different weight. They have a different heaviness to them. The word is dense. They have a different density. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So oil and water do not mix together because they have different, oops, there we go. Oh, they did kind of mix. I wonder if that's because, I'm doing this for the second time and I didn't wash my glass very well. Well, let's see if this still works. You can do it at home if this doesn't work very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put pour it into here, and we're going to see what happens with my food coloring. I am a little concerned whether or not this is going to work. Let's stir this up, see what happens. There we go. Now I'm getting little dots. Okay. See how when I mix it up, it's breaking that up, but it's not mixing it together. The oil still looks like oil. The thing that I'm not getting is I'm not getting my individual colors. Oh well. You guys can try this at home and see if it works better. So I'm going to pour this in here. And look what starts to happen. The oil is sitting at the top, and our little oil droplets, oh, there we go. There they go. And there's your fireworks. So as that colored water starts to settle down here, it starts to be able to mix with the water. So see how the oil is still sitting here at the top? Oh, there's some red, there's some green. Now, as it gets into the water, what's happening to it? Is it staying in little dots? No, it's not. It's mixing all together, and eventually this water is going to turn just this lovely black color. But you can still kind of see, and if I mess with it too much, it'll mix faster. But you can kind of see. So that is called a firework in a jar. Okay, so easy peasy, right? Oil, some kind of cup to put your oil into, and a nice, if you have a clear, large, even like this might have worked if that's all I had, and then some water-based food coloring. So the way that it is right now, this is what's called a demonstration. Okay, so a demonstration is I basically tell you about something, and then I do something that shows you why that is. So I explain to you that oil and water have different weights or heaviness to them, viscosity, and then I show you an example of how you can see that that is true, right? The water stays on the top, or the oil stays on the top. You can still see that oil's right there, right? Look at how dark that is though, because those droplets of that colored water made it through that water. And then once it gets to the water, now it's going to mix together. It's not going to stay separated like it did, those drops did in the oil. because this water and this water are the same viscosity. So they're going to mix together. Now, notice how I said this is a demonstration. If you want to make this an experiment, you have to pick one thing that you could change that you think might change the results of your experiment. So you can only change one thing at a time. So if I changed, like, instead of regular room temperature water, would it make a difference if this water was really, really hot? Or would it make a difference if this water was really, really cold? Everything else has to stay the same, and I just changed the temperature of the water. That would make, and then I would do it again and see if my results were the same. The other thing that I thought of you could do is you could try different kinds of oils. I don't know if it would change anything or not, but if you're going to change this, then I'd have to put everything else back the way that it was. Because if I changed the temperature of my water and I changed the different kind of oil, how am I going to know if something changed? How am I going to know which was the reason why? Was it the oil or was it the temperature of the water? I don't know because I changed both of them. So if you want to make something like this into an experiment, you change one thing and then you try your demonstration again and see if it made any change at all. Maybe instead of the water-based one, maybe use the gel-based, what are these called? Food colorings, and see if that changes. I don't know. Might have absolutely no effect at all. Is it okay to have zero effect on it at all and have it work just exactly the same? Yeah, that's what scientists do every day, all day long, is they try different things to see if anything makes an impact at all. And if it doesn't, that's okay. That's part of what we need to know as scientists. We need to know how things are changed, how things are different, how things stay the same, right? Okay, so that's my fireworks in a jar and my zones of regulation feelings. I am going to go ahead and put a blog post on there, something real light and fluffy, something fun, hopefully. And I don't really have anything additional to give you as far as work. What I would like you to do is get into iExcel again. And if you haven't been working in the arena part and you've only been doing my suggestions, I would love for you to get into the arena again and really look at trying to focus in on so the computer has time to focus in on see what kind of skills it can recommend that you need to work on. If you haven't finished with my suggestions from last week, feel free to work on those. I would love for you to get into reflex math if you haven't had a chance to do so, and do some fact work practice. Or if you're working on a project, continue to work on that project. If you decide to do this experiment at home, I would love to see a picture or a video. Have your mom or dad post it on Seesaw and so that I can see it. All right, friends, I miss you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Mwah.